is currently under control. If you look at the fiscal deficit as a percentage of GDP,
spending is not
has declined from 10 to 10.8% in 2020 to 4.2% in 2023. The debt to GDP ratio.
No, fiscal deficit is not 4.2% in 2023. I disagree completely.
After increasing from 61, 61.2% in 2019, is now 76.6%.
It's not correct. It's not correct. I dispute these figures vehemently.
Why?
One, the fiscal deficit is not 4.2%.
What is it?
And I challenge the government to bring evidence to prove that it's 4.2. The fiscal deficit will be in excess of 7.5%. That is not, I don't know who is saying this and where the person is picking these numbers from. It does not correspond to the information before us. They recently presented a budget, and the fiscal deficit they are talking about is as at September. And as at September fiscal deficit, if it's at 4.2, does not mean the end year fiscal deficit will be 4.2.
Have you seen the end year yet?
No, it hasn't been published. But in fact, the data I have conducted. No, but you see, the data I have gathered and the simulations that I have done does not suggest that to be 4.2. Because one,
but I can only quote what I know.
You see, so they are using a higher denominator, like the GDP, as against expenditure, not actual expenditure, but actual expenditure as of September instead of December expenditure. So clearly, it will be lower. And that is not as of December. So I challenge them, and I'm surprised that the central bank not long ago held their MPC and they failed to bring out the debt to the fiscal deficit. They have the data. And that data, until they announce it properly, it's not 4.2, and it cannot be 4.2. Because the IMF document does not say that they are going to do 4.2%. It's not. It will be in excess of 7% plus. Then let me deal with the debt to GDP. The debt to GDP is not 79%, and it will not be 79%. It will be in the region of 90s. Because again, they are not adding the Dutch bond. They are not adding the, the Sino-Hydro. They are again not adding the other one, the energy sector bond, ESLA bond. All of these are debt. The IMF added it as part of Ghana's debt. And when they expressed it as a percentage of Ghana's GDP, at the time it was 103%. Today, once again, they have taken all of this debt outside the equation, and they are expressing debt to GDP at 79%. Again, they have failed to add the debt that they have accumulated from September to December as part of the debt to be calculated or expressed in a percentage of GDP. And most importantly, Ghana has defaulted in the payment of our debt. We are accruing interest, both external and some local debt. Some local banks, we are not paying them. In fact, some of the bonds, we are accumulating some debt on them. This debt that we are the interest that we are failing to pay, you need to be prudent. And if you want to be prudent, what you need to do is that this debt, they have not forgiven you this debt. You are renegotiating them. So to be prudent, simple means that account for this amount, add it to your debt, because it is accruals, as accountants will call it. You have accrued this debt. Add it to your debt, express it as a percentage of your GDP, and then provision for it, so that in future, when it becomes a liability, because it's indeed a liability, you will show it. So it's been understated, and I challenge them that they should come and disprove what I've said. That one, they have excluded Dache. Two, they have excluded the ESLA bond, and they have also excluded the Sino-Hydro debt. Again, they have not added the debt from from September to December. And all the accruals in terms of the debt that we are supposed to pay and we have failed to pay, particularly from the external, they have failed to add it. Let them add it, and let's see where the debt to GDP will be. It will be almost 100%.
You don't